Welcome to our English teaching on singular and plural, more rules. We have had teaching on singular and plural. We just want to add more rules to that so that you can understand. Pay attention very carefully. You have to listen very well. You have to listen carefully to these rules. We are going to look at 3 more rules in addition to our teaching on singular and plural. If you missed that video, please refer to that video and look at that. Now we are going to look at more rules. Very important. Very important. Rule 1. The first rule. Look at that. The first rule. Some nouns are not used in the plural. You have to note that some nouns are not used in the plural. When we mean singular, we mean one. Plural, many. From 2 up. 2, 3, 4, up to 1 million, billion. That's plural. Singular, 1. Now we say rule 1. Some nouns are not used in the plural form. In the plural. Some nouns. We don't use some nouns in the plural. Some nouns are not used in the plural. For example, advice. We don't say advices, no. Advice does not have plural. Information is information. Knowledge is knowledge. News, news. Progress is progress. We don't have progresses. Work is work. We don't have works. Except we are looking at nouns. The noun form of work is like that. It doesn't, it's not used in the plural form as works, no. Money is money. Luggage is luggage. Furniture, scenery, machinery. Now, these words are not used in the plural form. These nouns are not used in the plural form. Let me say it again. These nouns and more, they are not used in the plural form. These nouns, advice, information, knowledge, news, progress, work, money, luggage, furniture, scenery, machinery. For example, what I mean by that, we don't say advices, no. We don't say knowledges, no. Informations, no. That's wrong. Progresses, no. Works. In the noun form, monies, no. Luggages, no. Furniture, we don't. These nouns are not used in the plural. Okay? They are not used in the plural. However, when you mean only one thing, when only one thing is meant, when you are referring to only one thing from all these nouns, in order to make it better, in order to explain it better, in order to make yourself understandable, in order to clarify what you mean, you can add a piece of or an item of. For example, you can say a piece of work or 2 pieces of work. You can say a piece of advice or 10 pieces of advice or 50 pieces of advice. You can say an item of news or news item or news items or 10 items of news. Now, you see here, it's very easy now for you to say 5 items of news. 5 items of news. Because you can say an item of news. If you refer to 1, then you say 5 items of news or 10 items of news. You can say 2 pieces of work. 2 pieces of work. Or you can say 10 pieces of advice. I can ask you, give me 2 pieces of furniture. I can say, I need just 5 pieces of knowledge. You see that? So, if you want to make that, if you want to clarify that, if you want to make yourself more explicit, you can use a piece of, or an item of, a piece of work or 2 pieces of work, a piece of advice or 2 pieces of advice, you can say an item of news or 2 items of news or 5 items of news. So that is that in rule 1. In rule 1. In rule 1. That is that. Let's go to rule 2. Rule 2. Some nouns are not used in the singular. First we say some nouns are not used in the plural. Now, some nouns are not used in the singular. There are some nouns you don't use them in the singular. That is when you are talking about them, you don't put them in the singular. For example, people. People. People is always in the plural. We don't use that in the singular. So you cannot say one people. You cannot say these people. No, it's plural. Some nouns are not used in the singular. For example, people, riches, clothes, wages, trousers, scissors, spectacles. We don't use them in the singular. These nouns are not used in the singular. However, name of things consisting of 2 parts. For example, trousers, spectacles, scissors. Name of things consisting of 2 parts are often used with pair. For example, you can say a pair of trousers, a pair of scissors, a pair of spectacles. So in this case, you can say 2 pairs of trousers, 50 pairs of trousers. You can say 10 pairs of scissors, 50 pairs of scissors. You can say 10 pairs of spectacles. A pair of spectacle, a pair, or you can say 2 pairs of spectacle. You see how you can use that. For names of things consisting of 2 parts, 2 parts. Names of things consisting of 2 parts. Trousers, scissors, spectacles. You can put a pair or 2 pairs or 3 pairs. Rule number 3. Some nouns have the same form for the singular as for the plural. They remain the same. Some nouns don't change. They remain the same. The way you use them in the singular is the way you use them in the plural. For example, sheep. 1 sheep, 50 sheep, 60 sheep, 1 million sheep, or deer, D-E-E-R, that is an animal. 1 deer, 10 deer, 50 deer, 1 billion deer, or salmon. 1 salmon, 2 salmon, 50 salmon. They remain the same as in the plural, so you use them in the singular, they remain the same. They remain the same. And so you see our rules here. Let's quickly go back to our rules. We say rule number 1. Some nouns are not used in the plural. You don't use them in the plural. Some nouns are not used in the nouns. We are talking about nouns, so you don't confuse them. Some nouns are not used in the plural. Advice, information, knowledge, news, plural, progress, work, money, luggage, furniture, scenery, machinery. We don't use them. However, when only one thing is meant, we can add a piece. For example, you can say a piece of work, a piece of advice, a piece of information, a piece of money, a piece of progress, a piece of luggage, a piece of furniture, or an item of news, 10 items of news, 50 items of news. Rule number 2. Some nouns are not used in the singular. No. First one we say some nouns are not used in the plural. Here now, some nouns are not used in the singular. For example, people, riches, clothes, wages, trousers, scissors, spectacles. We don't use them in the singular. You cannot use them in the singular. You cannot say a trousers. No, we don't use that. We cannot say a people. No, you cannot say a cloth. No. However, names of things, if you see names of things consisting of 2 parts, in order to make it clearer, you can use pair. For example, a pair of scissors, or 2 pairs of scissors, or 3 pairs of scissors, a pair of trousers, a pair of spectacles, 10 pairs of spectacles, and so on and so forth. Finally, we say some nouns have the same form for the singular, and that means they don't change. As for the plural, sheep, deer, salmon, they don't change. The way you use them in the singular is the same way you use them in the plural. So that is that. We have a sheep, 10 sheep, 50 sheep, there, 10 there, 50 there, salmon, 1 salmon, 50 salmon, 70 salmon, and so on and so forth. So that is that. If you like our video, please share, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up.